Welcome to this retrieval drill covering CFA Level 1, Ethics and Professional Standards. Here's how this works. I'll read a question, then give you a few seconds of silence to think of your own answer before I say it out loud. If you miss one, say the correct answer out loud once before we move on to the next question. Ethics makes up 15 to 20% of the exam and is almost entirely scenario-based. So pay extra attention to the which standard applies questions. That pattern matching skill is exactly what's tested on exam day. Let's begin. Set 1. The Code of Ethics. Question 1. Name the 6 components of the Code of Ethics. The correct answer is act with integrity, competence, diligence, and respect. Place the integrity of the profession and client interests above your own. Use reasonable care and independent judgment. Practice and encourage others to practice ethically. Promote the integrity of capital markets. And maintain and improve professional competence. Question 2. Which code component is the seed of almost every conflict of interest question on the exam? The correct answer is placing the integrity of the investment profession and client interests above your own personal interests. Question 3. Is ethics the same thing as law? Can something be legal but still unethical under the code and standards? The correct answer is no, they're not the same. Something can be perfectly legal and still violate the code and standards, which are often stricter than local law. Question 4. What is the ethics adjustment, and why does it matter for a borderline candidate? The correct answer is CFA Institute looks specifically at ethics performance when a candidate's overall score is borderline. A strong ethics score can push a borderline candidate to a pass, while a weak one can contribute to a fail, even if the rest of the exam went well. Set 2. Standard 1. Professionalism. Question 5. Under Standard 1. A. Knowledge of the law. If local law and the code and standards conflict, which one do you follow? The correct answer is whichever is stricter. Question 6. An analyst learns a colleague is violating the code. Under IA, can they simply ignore it? The correct answer is no. They need to dissociate from the activity, which might mean stepping back from a project, and in serious cases may involve reporting through appropriate channels. Question 7. Which substandard of Standard 1 covers accepting gifts or pressure that could compromise independent judgment? The correct answer is IB, independence and objectivity. Question 8. Can a member ever guarantee investment performance to a client? The correct answer is no. This would violate IC misrepresentation, since markets involve inherent uncertainty and returns can never be guaranteed. Question 9. Does Standard ID misconduct only cover professional behavior, or can personal conduct also violate it? The correct answer is personal conduct can also violate it if it involves fraud or dishonesty, because it reflects on professional integrity even outside work. Question 10. True or false? Omitting an important fact can be just as much a violation of IC as stating something false. The correct answer is true. Set 3. Standard 2. Integrity of capital markets. Question 11. What 2 conditions must information meet for 2A, material non-public information, to apply? The correct answer is the information must be both material, meaning it would affect an investment decision or the security's price, and non-public, meaning it hasn't been disclosed to the marketplace. Question 12. What is mosaic theory, and is it a violation? The correct answer is combining non-material, non-public information with material public information, then reaching a conclusion through your own analysis. It's not a violation. It's considered legitimate research. as long as no single piece of information used is both material and non-public. Question 13. Name the two types of market manipulation covered under 2B. The correct answer is information-based manipulation, spreading false or misleading information, and transaction-based manipulation, trading activity designed to distort prices or volume without genuine value change. Question 14. Why does Standard 2 exist as a separate category from the client-focused standards? The correct answer is because insider trading and manipulation don't just hurt one client. They damage the broader trust and integrity that capital markets depend on for everyone. Set 4. Standard 3 Duties to Clients. Question 15. Which substandard requires that recommendations fit a client's specific circumstances, not just be a generically good investment? The correct answer is 3-C Suitability. Question 16. Does fair dealing under 3B require treating all clients identically? The correct answer is no. It allows different service tiers based on what clients pay for, but requires no favoritism within a tier and no unfair information head starts for favored clients. Question 17. Under 3A, loyalty, prudence, and care, whose interests come first? The correct answer is the client's interests, above the firm's and above the member's own. Question 18. What does 3-D performance presentation prohibit? The correct answer is misrepresenting investment performance. Track records shown must be fair, accurate, and complete, not cherry-picked from the best periods. Question 19. Under 3E, confidentiality, name a situation where disclosing client information without their permission would still be acceptable. The correct answer is when disclosure is required for compliance purposes or when the information involves illegal activity that may need to be reported. Question 20. A recommendation is objectively a great investment, but doesn't fit a particular client's risk tolerance or time horizon. Is this a violation? The correct answer is yes, a violation of 3C suitability. A good investment in isolation can still be a violation if it doesn't suit that particular client. Set 5. Standard 4. Duties to employers. Question 21. Under 4A, loyalty, can a member make preparations to leave their job and start a competing business? The correct answer is generally yes. Quietly preparing to compete, like job hunting, is allowed, as long as they don't actively solicit the employer's clients before leaving, don't use confidential firm information, and don't neglect current duties. Question 22. What does IV-B, additional compensation arrangements, require if a member wants to accept outside compensation connected to their work? The correct answer is written consent from all parties involved, including the employer. Question 23. Under IV-C, responsibilities of supervisors, can a supervisor delegate away responsibility for detecting violations by delegating the task to someone else? The correct answer is no. Supervisory duties can be delegated, but the responsibility cannot. If a violation happens without a reasonable detection system in place, the supervisor is still accountable. Question 24. An employee actively recruits clients away from their current firm while still employed there, before resigning. Which substandard does this violate? The correct answer is 4A, loyalty. This crosses from permissible preparation into active competition while still on the payroll. Set 6. Standard 5. Investment analysis, recommendations, and actions. Question 25. What does VA, diligence, and reasonable basis require before making a recommendation? The correct answer is a reasonable and adequate basis, supported by appropriate research and investigation. Question 26. Under VB, communication with clients, what must a member clearly distinguish between when presenting analysis? The correct answer is fact from opinion. Question 27. What's the commonly cited default record retention guideline under VC if a firm doesn't have its own specific policy? The correct answer is 7 years. Question 28. Why does VC record retention matter in relation to VA and VB? The correct answer is it provides evidence that the member actually followed a diligent process and communicated it properly, in case that process is ever questioned. Set 7. Standard 6. Conflicts of interest. Question 29. What's the single theme running through all three substandards of Standard 6? The correct answer is disclosure. Question 30. Under 6B, priority of transactions, whose trades take priority? Client, employer, or personal? The correct answer is client transactions take priority over both personal transactions and the employer's own transactions. Question 31. A member owns shares in a company they're about to recommend to clients. What does VIA require? The correct answer is disclosure of that personal ownership as a potential conflict of interest. Question 32. What must be disclosed under 6C, referral fees? The correct answer is any compensation, consideration, or benefit received from or paid to others for recommending products or services, such as a referral fee for sending a client to another advisor. Set 8. Standard 7. Responsibilities as a CFA member or candidate. Question 33. What does 7A cover that's specifically relevant to exam day behavior? The correct answer is not engaging in any conduct that compromises the integrity of CFA Institute, the designation, or the exams, including no cheating and no disclosing exam content afterward. Question 34. Under 7B, can a candidate who has passed all three exam levels but hasn't finished the work experience requirement call themselves a charter holder? The correct answer is no. They're still a candidate, not a charter holder, and must represent that status accurately. Question 35. Can a member imply that holding the CFA charter guarantees superior investment results? The correct answer is no. That would misrepresent or exaggerate what holding the designation actually means, violating 7B. Set 9. GIPS. Question 36. Is GIPS compliance mandatory or voluntary? The correct answer is voluntary. But once a firm claims compliance, it must follow the standards fully and consistently. Question 37. What core requirement helps GIPS prevent cherry-picked performance track records? The correct answer is firms must include the performance of all actual, fee-paying, discretionary portfolios in composites, so prospective clients see the whole picture rather than just the best-performing accounts. Question 38. Which two standards of professional conduct does GIPS most directly connect back to? The correct answer is 3-D, performance presentation, and 1-C, misrepresentation. Set 10. Scenario trigger words, rapid fire. This set skips the explanation and just drills the pattern matching itself. Scenario cue to standard. This is the single most exam-relevant skill in all of ethics. Question 39. Trigger phrase guarantees a return. The correct answer is IC, misrepresentation. Question 40. Trigger phrase trades ahead of a client order. The correct answer is 6B, priority of transactions. Question 41. Trigger phrase accepts an expensive trip from a company they cover. The correct answer is IB, independence and objectivity. Question 42. Trigger phrase doesn't disclose a personal shareholding before recommending the stock. The correct answer is 6A, disclosure of conflicts. Question 43. Trigger phrase recommends a volatile growth stock to a retiree needing capital preservation. The correct answer is 3-C, suitability. Question 44. Trigger phrase shares only the best performing accounts when presenting a track record. The correct answer is 3-D, performance presentation. And this connects directly to why GIPS requires composites of all accounts. Question 45. Trigger phrase trades on a tip that's both material and non-public. The correct answer is 2A, material non-public information. Question 46. Trigger phrase supervisor has no system in place to monitor a subordinate's trading. The correct answer is 4C, responsibilities of supervisors. Question 47. Trigger phrase spreads false rumors to move a stock price. The correct answer is 2B, market manipulation. Question 48. Trigger phrase actively solicits the firm's clients before resigning. The correct answer is 4A, loyalty. Question 49. Trigger phrase discloses a client's account details without permission or a compliance reason. The correct answer is 3-E, preservation of confidentiality. Question 50. Trigger phrase claims to be a CFA charter holder before finishing the work experience requirement. The correct answer is 7B, reference to CFA Institute, the designation, and the program. That's 50 questions covering the code, all 7 standards, GIPS, and rapid-fire scenario pattern matching. Given ethics carries the most exam weight and the heaviest scenario-based testing style, set 10, the trigger word, rapid fire, is worth revisiting most often in the final weeks before your exam. That's the exact skill the real test is measuring.